Welcome, everybody. We are here to talk about the Blacksmiths from Breakaway Football. Blacksmiths are based on the 1978 Pittsburgh Steelers, which had an elite defense and a really strong running game. The Blacksmiths have two special rules: establish the run, which allows them to unlock more advanced passing mechanisms as they continue to run the football, and also steel curtain, which allows them to keep and hold a particular game day card at the beginning of each drive, which of course makes their defense more powerful and more opportunistic. First, the Blacksmiths only have two formations. Close is their run heavy, and pro set is their balanced. This team does not have a pass heavy formation. Let's take a look at the establish the run mechanism. The way establish the run works is that when you run the ball as the Blacksmiths, you're going to move a token down a track, and once you reach the end of that track, you unlock whatever mechanism is underneath. Let's see this mechanism in action. The Blacksmiths have called a close power run, and the Fire, their opponent, have called a wide run. Right now, 3-on-3 typically would be a gain of nothing, but this is a minimum gain of 1 before the game day card is pulled. So right now it's a gain of 1. Let's go take a look at what happens with the game day card. And it's actually a defensive run card. This is a big hit, so that gain of 1 is actually taken away. It's going to be a gain of nothing for the Blacksmiths. However, all you have to do is run the ball. You don't have to actually gain yards to keep this mechanism moving. So because they ran the ball, they're going to take this token and place it on the beginning of the track. Now, they haven't unlocked any mechanisms yet. The Blacksmiths actually need to run 1, 2, 3, 4 more times before they can reach the end of the track. But once they do, they will earn a spark and unlock Great Pass, which allows them to ignore a low accuracy marker on a card. There are 5 spark tokens potentially that can be unlocked in a game. Each time you run, you move towards unlocking the spark token. The 6th time they run, they'll actually put another marker on the board and begin again, walking it down. 7th, 8th, 9th run will result in an earning of a second spark. And now they've unlocked the broken tackle mechanism, which allows them to ignore the first 0 on a breakaway. So just for clarity, it took one run, one running play, whether it was a gain, loss, or nothing at all, to start the Blacksmiths on their track to establishing the run. Each subsequent time they run the ball, again, whether they earn yardage or not, they continue to march down the track towards the end and the earning of a spark token. Once they reach the end, they earn their spark token, and they unlock this mechanism below the pond. The very next run puts another pawn on the track and begins marching, and as soon as they reach the end of that track, they now unlock the next piece of the puzzle, that being broken tackle. The next run starts a new pawn, continues marching down with each running play until they unlock a pre-snap read. 2 more runs will complete that, and each time they're earning spark tokens. The final run unlocks the elite receivers and the 5th spark token. This is a fully established run with 5 spark tokens and 4 unlocked mechanisms. Now that we have all these spark tokens, let's see what we can do with them. Here's an example of pro set versus nickel. The Blacksmiths have called a medium pass, which is a low accuracy for them, and the Fire have called a nickel zone. So this is a 6-on-4, a gain of 2 if it's complete. They do need green text in order to complete this, and it is actually an incomplete pass because it is red text. What the spark token can do is the Blacksmiths can simply spend their spark to activate their Great Pass, which allows them to ignore this low accuracy. That spark token then becomes a completion because we no longer care about the red text on the defensive card, and they can move down the field second down. Later in the game, we'll take a look at how the broken tackle works. We have a pro set halfback trap, which is a finesse run, versus a wide run. This is a breakaway. Finesse defeats wide run, so 4 on 3 is a minimum gain of 1. And now let's see what the game day card brings us. So this is going to be an additional 1 in the upper corner. So far a gain of 2, and now we can start flipping. And that is a 0 that would typically end a breakaway. But because the Blacksmiths have the broken tackle, which allows them to ignore the first 0 on a breakaway, they can spend a spark token to continue pulling cards. And that's an additional 1. So they've broken a tackle, and they are continuing. Oh, and that's 2 more. They've actually gained that first down. And there's the tackle. So they were actually able to extend that play and get a first down. Now let's look at the pre-snap read. The pre-snap read allows the Blacksmiths to lock the defense. It's a very specific type of Omaha. If the call that the defense has made is a tight run or a goal line, the defense has to reveal it, and then the offense can actually audible before flipping over the card. So let's take a look at this. We see that we've got a power run and a play action pass on the other side. What we're going to do as the Blacksmiths is actually spend our spark token to say, we're doing a pre-snap read. Are you in goal line or tight run? And it just so happens that they are in a tight run. So now it gives us the opportunity to say, well, we don't want to use the power run because that would be a defensive breakaway. But instead, we're going to go ahead and audible to the play action pass, which actually turns out to be an offensive breakaway. In this instance, we have used our pre-snap read to get the advantage on our opponent. This is a play action pass versus tight run. 6 on 2 is a gain of 4. And of course, we would use the 1 in the upper corner. The fumble doesn't impact the play at all, so that's a gain of 4 plus 1 is actually a gain of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down to the 20. And we will keep flipping. A reversed field. And 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Can he get in the end zone? No, he's tackled at the 10, but a big gain. And really avoiding potential disaster where the power run would have been blown up by tight run, instead creating a matchup that was more favorable and only using 1 spark to do it. Now let's take a look at the elite receivers mechanism, which allows you to double the card value of a pass completion. Here's our matchup. We have close and 4-3, and notice it's 14-13. The Blacksmiths are losing, and it's late in the game. The Blacksmiths have called a medium pass of 5, and it is a low accuracy pass. Their opponent has called a zone. So right now this is going to be a gain of 2. Let's see what the game day deck gives us. And it is a convoy plus 3, so this is an offensive run, but it is complete because it's green text on a low accuracy pass. So right now this is a gain of 2. The Blacksmiths are going to want to use their elite receivers mechanism to double the card value of the pass completion, so they will spend their spark, and that 5 now becomes a 10. 10 minus 3 is actually a gain of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it's complete down to the 40-yard line. A huge pass to an elite receiver, either John Stallworth or Lynn Swan, take your pick, but that is a huge completion. It is also possible to use multiple sparks on the same play. So for example, if this pass had been an intentional grounding, you could actually use your challenge flag to ignore the middle and then use your spark to ignore the low accuracy and create a great pass. So it is possible to use multiple sparks and even a challenge flag all on the same play to create that signature big play that the Blacksmiths are known for. Now let's take a look at the steel curtain mechanism. This one allows, at the beginning of each defensive drive, the Blacksmiths will draw 2 game day cards and look at both of them in private. The Blacksmiths then get the choice of which one of these cards they want to discard, and which one that they're going to hold onto for the remainder of the drive. This card would then be able to be deployed instead of a game day draw. So there's several things to think about. The bottom corners are kicking values, and so they won't ever come into play. The top values are offensive and defensive breakaways, and then the middle value is the play event. So there may be a bunch of different reasons why you would choose one card over another. This one is a holding penalty, and so if you want to be able to deploy a penalty, you could keep that one. Or if you like this one, which is a negative run event and also a negative breakaway event, we're going to go ahead and keep this one for this drive. So we would simply discard this and then keep this card off to the side so that we can use it later. So here's a great circumstance to illustrate how the steel curtain works. Let's say it's fourth quarter, late game, 20-14. We're trying to preserve a victory. It's 4th and 1 here at the 45. The play from our opponent is an inside run, and we've called wide run. So this is a minimum gain of 1. This is going to get the first down and extend the drive. Of course, if we pull a game day card, we run the risk of perhaps this standing or even becoming a bigger run. But if we simply deploy this game day card from our hand, the steel curtain creates a shoestring tackle where this gain of 1 is subtracted 1. It is now a gain of nothing, and the ball is turned over on downs right at the 45. It is possible to use this card in a number of ways. For example, if you had created a breakaway, you could deploy it for the breakaway value. There are even ways to use these cards that are good for the offense. If you have a breakaway on the offense and you are holding one of these cards with a 0 in the upper corner, you could actually deploy this card to stop a breakaway and create a tackle. That about wraps it up for the Blacksmiths. Establishing the run and the steel curtain are their two main effects, where you earn spark tokens and deploy them to create big gains.